Hello, welcome back. Michelle Greenwich Joyner answering that age-old question, when do I start teaching my child to read? As we've said, and I like to reiterate, at birth, and then we've been going through the steps. What I'd like to talk about today is the connection between speech, verbal expression, reading, and writing. And there is a definite connection. I think if you've gone through my other videos, that you will see that I'm always talking about language. As a speech pathologist, that's my first love, and that's how I came upon really developing reading, because we need speech first, actually. The thing is because speech gives you verbal expression. And if you've heard my videos before, I'm always talking about talking. And the connection, and I'm not going to go through a lot of details, I'll do that later, but I just want to give you a quick, let's say, precept, is that the more your child talks, the more your child learns. And when your child is talking, then your child is able to converse with you and to learn more. So the thing is that how does that go with reading? How that gets connected with reading is because, as we've seen in my other videos, I've talked about exposure. So when the child is reading, the child comes across a word that they are not familiar with as far as print is concerned, but is familiar with because he or she has heard the word before, then the next time that child is reading, then the recall is that much easier because the child has been exposed to the word and the understanding of the word. So that's where speech and language and reading are connected. That's to put it very shortly, and there's a lot more involved in it. But just to get you to let you understand why I spend so much time as far as vocabulary is concerned, why I spend so much time talking about the daily living and talking to your child and speaking in sentences. And there's research now, to go to the writing, is that if your child is speaking in sentences, then your child is going to write in sentences. And as we all know, with all of these tests that are coming out, is that your child needs to write in sentences, regardless of what they do some of the time when they're with their friends. We all have been brought up with slang, and we've been brought up with school language. And the thing is that a child, in order to write a complete sentence, has to understand the dynamics of a sentence, and that goes into their verbal expression, and that goes into their language. So when you're talking to your child, you should be speaking in complete sentences. And it's not that difficult to do. And when your child answers with one word, then he says no. No what? Tell me the whole thing. I don't know if you're familiar, but you might hear teachers or, again, caregivers or daycare teachers saying, I don't know what you want. Tell me the whole thing. Use your words. That's what they're trying to say. They're trying to get the child to use your words or use their words. As we said before, remember at 3 years of age, they're supposed to be able to retell this story. So is it acceptable to say bird when you're describing this picture? I don't think so. Is it acceptable to say cat when you're in preschool? Oh, yes. When you're learning to read, or when the child is learning and he's in toddlerdom and he says bird, you say, oh, yes, the bird is in the tree. So by the time they get to preschool, they'll say, I see a bird in the tree. I see a cat looking at this figure here. I see the dog. All right, so so what you're doing is you're building the conversation as far as describing the pictures and describing the action. Many times when your child's in preschool, what you want to do, or what prior to preschool in that age of 2.5 years, is spend a lot of time describing the picture versus reading what's there. That's when this takes over from reading what's there to describing the picture. And this is what's happening as far as speech and language and reading connection and the writing connection. I will talk more on this, but just wanted to give you a little blurb as far as how all of this is connected. Thank you very much. Michelle Greenwich Joiner at pygmalion squared at gmail.com. Thank you.